Welcome to the Dave Pamah Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Pamah.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Pamah Show. And today on the Dave Pamah Show, I'm joined by Nadine Jones, a powerhouse legal executive, award-winning changemaker, and founder of General Counsel Support Services, whose journey from courtroom to corporate boardroom and from marriage to single motherhood reveals how integrity, resilience, and purpose can redefine leadership at every stage of life. Nadine Jones, welcome to the Dave Pamah Show.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I try and keep it as short as possible now. It's still long, but it's all right.
Oh.
It's just so everyone gets a gist of everything in one paragraph. It's nice to have a woman of color on the show that is in a high-powered position that's been there and seen it and done it all as well, in a way. I know, I'm empowering you too much, I know, but still.
Well, no, after 20-something years in the legal game, I've seen a lot. A lot, yes.
So, Nadine, your career has actually spanned high stakes, really, high stakes law, I could say, corporate leadership and social impacts. But you've also navigated deeply personal transitions along the way. Looking back, what moments most shaped how you lead and live today, especially as you balance reinvention, motherhood, and purpose after 50? Sorry for bringing that last bit up. It does say on your introduction. 50, it does say on your introduction, so on your bio. 50. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm 60, so I don't look it.
No, you don't.
Black don't crack.
I guess, yes, you're right about that. There are some benefits. You're right
There's a few.
What would be the most? What was the question again?
Oh, right. Okay. So, you've spanned quite a lot of high stakes. Mm-hmm. Your career, high stakes law, corporate leadership, social impact, but you've also had some personal transitions as well. So looking back, how's it shaped you with the life you live today, especially as you balance reinvention, motherhood, and purpose after 50?
Okay, no, the after 50 is actually critical, because after 50, I'm at the stage where I'm at the point of my life journey where every room that I walk in, every situation that I walk in needs to fit around me. I'm no longer trying to fit into it. I no longer have the energy or the interest. And I no longer have the ability, I think, to work with people where the values are just so incompatible with my own. Yeah. So you're at a point where it's actually harder, because if you're talking about a career standpoint, because the title and the money is not going to be enough. Who am I working with? What am I going to be doing? What are your values? How do you see people? How do you treat people? And I'm not saying if it's a corporate space, excuse me, that it has to be all, la-di-da and rainbows and unicorns. No, you're going to have to make tough decisions. But there should be a core in terms of how you treat people and do you see people. And as I get older, that dominates more than when I was at the beginning of my career. I'm constantly trying to fit in, got out of law school, go to a big law firm in DC, big time law firm. I didn't fit in at all.
All right. Okay. That's interesting.
They had, they're with the summer associates. They're like, we're going to have a barbecue at the managing partner's house. To me, a barbecue is flip-flops and cutoff shorts. No, my friend, this was catered servers outside, little lovely decorated tables with seating arrangements and seating cards. And So I did not fit in. I was learning as I was doing a lot of faux pas, even just phraseology, things that people would say. I had no idea what they were talking about. Like one partner said to me, "Did you get pushback when you asked for X from the client?" I'm like, "Pushback? Pushback?" He's like, "Yeah, did you get any resistance when you said that they needed to do?" I'm like, "Oh, resistance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. I didn't get any pushback." So I didn't fit at all.
Yeah.
I did not fit in. And now
But
I'm like,
you're saying you didn't fit in because of the language or something, or
just
terminologies, culture. Yeah.
culturally,
Yeah, culturally. Okay.
I didn't fit in. It was a very white culture,
Oh, okay.
a
I'm with you.
progressive firm, very white culture,
Yeah.
male. They had a strong Jewish community. I'm not
Oh,
Jewish,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I was the first college graduate, certainly the first attorney in my group and my family rather, and I didn't fit. Like I'm always trying to fit. I'll tell you a quick story. They had like an affinity group. It was minorities at and the name of the firm. I think that's what it was called. Anyway, they invited a guest speaker to come in. She's from Baltimore. She actually headed up Netflix's her name is Verna Meyer. I don't know if you're allowed to use names here.
No, you can, you
Verna
can. Yeah, it's a podcast, so it's all
Verna
right.
Meyer.
Yeah, it's not the
And
BBC. You probably heard about what happened in the
yes.
BBC lately. So.
Verna Meyer, and she came to talk about diversity and um, unconscious bias. This was
Yeah.
back in the day.
Mm.
And she didn't code switch. Do you know
Right.
what code switching is?
I don't know what that is. No. I mean, I know code. The word code can be used in many kind of contexts. So that barcode or color
No.
code or something like that. But
Okay, code switching is what we do in Black Americans, what we do in America, how we
right,
talk to each other.
right. As in amongst Black Americans,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
And then how we talk in the workplace or with mixed
Ah, okay. I think
company.
right.
You
It,
switch your vernacular, you switch how you talk.
right. So if you're in a different environment, it'll be different the way you talk.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So I'm new. I'm a junior associate. Maybe I was the second year by that time, maybe a third year, probably not even a third year. Brand new, trying to fit in this
Yeah,
environment.
white male culture. But as I say, that's the culture that I was in when I was in a fire service
Right.
35 years ago, or more than that, really. I say 35 years ago, anyway, 1990,
Same thing.
Yeah.
And this black woman, she was a black woman invited to be like the guest speaker and the facilitator. And she came into this space of like white men with a sprinkling of color here and there.
Yeah.
And she didn't code switch. I'm like, what? Like, I had never seen that. And I never forgot it. That was 2005, maybe? I
Yeah.
never forgot that. She owned her space.
Yeah.
She owned her history. She could speak the Queen's English,
Yeah.
Mr. Pamah.
Yeah.
But she was
I don't speak the Queen's English. It's just that I was raised in Britain, so that's why I speak like this.
She could speak both, but she when she wanted to, she spoke like she was talking to her girlfriends from Baltimore in the hood. And she did it in this space, and it left such an impression on me. Like, maybe I don't have to fully change who I am.
I
And
bet she
as
was
I
being
get older,
authentic but professional.
yes, authentic. That's the word.
Yeah, but
That's the perfect
professional as
word.
well in the professional space. In other
Yeah,
words,
no,
you know.
she was professional. I remember
Yeah.
so that now over 50, I'm not saying I'm going into corporate spaces and speaking in a professional way like I'm talking to
No.
girlfriends, but if you extrapolate that concept, no longer am I really trying to fit. It's like if you don't want me on your board,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wish
Yeah.
you all the best.
Yeah.
And
No.
I'm not trying to fit. I don't need you to pick me. and I don't feel the need for you to want to pick me.
Yeah.
Pick who you really want, and I hope it all goes well for you. So it's just a confidence in my abilities that I am good.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You can make a different choice. It doesn't take anything away from me. Work with who you want to work with. You don't necessarily have to work with me, because I'm coming with the whole of me.
Yeah.
And the values that I walk with. So that's been the most pivotal change, being over 50. And it is taking me a while to kind of own that more and more. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I mean, obviously, you've had more of an experience of that, because mine's coming from a different direction, in a public safety sector rather than, legal, which you've done. But I've only just recently sat on the board since September, July, really, this year. So, but I'm just doing me, I'm being me. And actually the organization is fine with that here, because even in Britain, you've got this stiff upper lip, that's where all this has come from, really. In America, it's imported from the British colonial kind of side of things, hasn't it, really? Let's not go down that route, though. You know what I'm saying here?
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. So that's another podcast, another day. Anyway, I'll say that you got educated in Howard University. When I went to study politics, that's another place I wanted to be myself as well, and found out a lot about myself actually as well. But there was a American student now. I don't know if she was on an exchange. I don't think she was. I think she went straight to do a master's there just for 1 year. And then she told me I was at Howard before that, and I didn't really know much about Howard, but she was telling me a lot more, and I thought, and I was really doing a lot more research, with my politics into, more Black history and, colonial American politics. I even looked at that and just learned a lot more about Howard, But that's great. Tell us more about your journey there. Because you was actually on the board. You actually went and worked for them afterwards, which is impressive.
Well, no, I started a nonprofit that we collaborated. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell us the beginning, but because
Howard is one of the best decisions I ever made.
So,
so I grew up in Canada. Canada.
Okay. Whereabouts?
Montreal.
I've been there. I've been there before. Yeah. I went to do the World Fighter Games there in 2005, 20 years ago. Was you there 20 years ago? Well, you probably get.
No, I was here.
All right, but it's easy for you to get there than it is for me. You can probably drive there,
No, I drive there. We're gonna go. Yeah, we drive all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Me, my son,
it's
and
really nice. I like Montreal actually. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. And Quebec's different. Quebec's a very different kind of. It's like a museum there, but they've got a modern part anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the part Quebec City. Yes, I grew up in Montreal, which is within Quebec, but I wanted to experience an environment where, like, for at least for law school, where my race was a non-issue.
Yeah.
It was just suspended. It was just like, so I got into Howard. And somebody might not like you at Howard, but it's not because you're Black. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just more interpersonal. Yeah.
Your race is a non-issue, quite the contrary, because we did have white students as well.
Yeah.
Maybe race was not suspended for them. The whole school is geared toward Black excellence. Every hallway, every mural, every lecture, you hear about Black excellence, Howard excellence.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're a fish swimming in water. By the time you finish your time there, you don't even realize how much you have been fed, so much confidence in yourself, and the freedom of just being you without any racial judgment. And you don't realize that you go through your day-to-day with a little bit of that weight in the normal world, in the non-HBCU world, until you walk through the doors of the HBCU. And then you're like, why do I feel lighter? And it's because your race is not a factor. Who you are, you have your own cliques, you have your own groups. There's a huge Greek community, which is like a sorority and fraternity, and they coalesce and bond around that.
Yeah.
It could be a million different things.
Yeah.
Your views, maybe you're not liberal enough, maybe you're too conservative, a million different things, but it's not your race. And every day you are filled with Black excellence and people who believe in you and have high expectations. A form of racism is when you have low expectations.
Yeah.
It feels a little counterintuitive, but the fact that you are expected to do great things because you came from Howard is so empowering. So I left Howard, as we all did, thinking we could change the world. And then when we got into like the law firm and other environments, and folks were timid, they didn't want to speak, they didn't want to disagree with people, it just made me not fit in even more. Like, what's the problem? Like, why won't you say something? But I have been fed with a confidence and an empowerment that a lot of other Black lawyers, let's say, who went to majority schools, possibly did not get that infusion of we believe in you. So Howard lawyers are very different. We're still very different. Howard students, period, not just lawyers, very different, very confident. And we actually do think we could change the world. And we'd be like, well, why couldn't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good environment. Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure all the other, Ivy League colleges like Harvard and Stanford who have Black students, and even from our deputy prime minister here, he went to Harvard. Yeah, he went to Harvard to study law.
Look, if my son got into Harvard Law, I'd be like, boy, I'm gonna drive you myself.
Yeah. But do Howard first and then go to Harvard.
But after. I do want him to have that Howard experience. Whether it's undergrad or graduate school, I do want him to have that Howard experience. Yes.
As I said, I spoke to the student when they came to our college, my where I was studying a degree, and
it's different. And unless you're in this part of the diaspora, maybe it's hard to understand the need for historically Black colleges and universities. That's what they call Howard and Hamptons and a whole slew of other HBCUs.
Yeah.
But don't forget, it was at a time when Black folks couldn't go to school in the majority schools.
This is what I was going to say is that,
Yes.
Because, I forgot the name of that law where, the education case where Blacks want.
Brown v. Board of Education.
And that was in my,
Howard.
Exactly.
Howard University.
And that was one of my degree, when I did American politics as part of it. It was one of my things that I actually answered questions. So I thought,
very good.
Quoted Brown v. That's it.
1954 Brown v. Board of Education, and that was the end of desegregation. And do you know how long it took to desegregate? They're still trying to desegregate under that court decision.
And Sidney Poitier played in a film about that.
Oh, did he?
And I did the podcast interview a few months ago with the producer, and he knows Sidney Poitier quite well.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, and Barack Obama made him his education and culture secretary or something when he was in power, when he was a president. So I'll try and find his thing and send you the link, or you can look for it anyway.
I will look for it.
Then I looked at the film and I felt, because Sidney Poitier, my dad always spoke highly of him, and it was like, wow, yeah. And I looked at the film and I thought, that's and then Howard came up with that, you see, because I think they went to court over it as well or something, and then one of the activists got interrogated by the prosecutors who were standing up for Brown v. Brown, about saying no, it shouldn't be a segregate, and one of them saying, well, didn't you go to Howard or something like that?
To say that you're in a segregated school.
Well, kind of, but he answered it quite well. And I mean, obviously when you look at it in a film, it's not the same as the real thing that happened, but that was one of the things they brought up. But it was quite interesting anyway when I was watching it.
Very interesting.
He sent me the what's it called? The link to look at it. He basically wrote a memoir about himself, this producer, about all the different
Ah,
films he did. He'd done some really good films, but that was one of the ones anyway. And Sidney Poitier
okay.
was one of his close friends, as well as obviously having links with Barack Obama. So yeah, look back. I'll try and
I
find
will
his
take a
name.
look. I
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah.
definitely take a look.
It's
That was
quite some
a
way back. Within about a year it was ago, so something like. Oh, actually, it was probably maybe this time last year or maybe a couple of months before that. Yeah, that's when it
okay.
was.
I
So
will
just
definitely
over
take
a
a
year.
look.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway,
Uh,
however, yeah, that was that. So tell us a bit more now about how you actually managed to, or how you got to the point of now doing a non-profit at Howard, because that's quite, a, you know,
It was, yeah, we collaborated with Howard. But when you're a big institution founded in 1890, I love Howard, but they don't move as quickly as we would like to. So we said, okay, look, we won't be like an official nonprofit, but we will work together so
yeah,
that
I'm with you there.
we could be more nimble. So it
Yeah,
was 2020, and the US was literally on fire with
yeah.
protests and
I
global
know.
protests,
I
right?
know. I was actually in the Philippines and I saw it all, and I thought because
Uh,
it spread it everywhere, all over the world. And
it was a
when it hit the
global
UK, I was
protest.
like, "What?
Yes, yes. I've never seen anything
You
like
threw that
that.
statue in?" It's like that is huge.
When George
And then,
Floyd was murdered live
oh
on,
yeah, I know.
TV, or video. And so myself and two other Howard alumna, Black women and mothers of Black sons. They also have daughters. I only have a son.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about police reform, and we need to revoke qualified immunity, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. Let's pass legislation. But you're talking to like three kind of boots on the ground mamas. That's not going to help our sons right
No,
now.
no, no. But I mean, the Black Lives Matter was from, I don't know if they were mums, but it was, they probably were, but so,
Well, we weren't really thinking. We were just in action mode, like mama bear protect mode.
mm,
And all of this discussion about litigating qualified immunity, passing legislation, all of these different, it doesn't change. There are already police policies against chokeholds. How did George Floyd die? With a
mm,
chokehold.
mm,
So we understood, maybe being in the corporate space, all three of us in the corporate space, we understood that you actually have to change relationships in order for you to have a different outcome. The type of world that we live in with our sons riding their bikes on the street and the beat cop walking the street, just, proverbial, whatever. No amount of legislation is going to get that cop to see our sons as human beings, and no amount of legislation is going to get our sons to feel safe in that space. The only thing that's going to do that is to form relationships.
yeah,
And that's what we set out to do. And we were amazed by how many police
departments, of
agencies,
course,
and
yeah,
yeah, how many wanted to work with us, were intrigued by us. Some of them highly skeptical, like it's a racially motivated year between Black community members and the blue community, the police community, and here are these three Black women saying that they want to be friends. Like, what's up with that? So there was a high degree of skepticism. And once they saw that we were genuine, and we started the project with, we're going to forge these relationships. And maybe it wasn't organic because I care so much about you, Mr. Police Officer or Madam Police Officer, but rather I need you to be able to see me and to see my child as a human being, and not as a perp in waiting, as a criminal in waiting. Okay, fine, he's only 9 years old, but we know where he's going to end up. You
mm,
can feel that energy when you're a child, that somebody does not look at you as being worthwhile, and that directs how you engage with them. But I can say that by the end of that endeavor, we ran out of money eventually. We got we
uh,
got donations, we got big grants, and then we
yeah,
ran out of
yeah,
money.
yeah,
My company put me on loan for 6 months, so my salary was
uh,
paid for.
right,
And they said, you don't have to do a stick of work, Nadine. We're going to put you on a paid sabbatical so you could stand up this organization.
yeah,
But by the end of that project, we wanted the police to be well, not just so that they can police us well.
mm,
It developed and evolved into, you just want a human being to be okay. You
Mm.
know, like you start to see the person, and that's the thing. Once you start to see people, empathy, understanding, common ground often follows. And I had so many caricatures of what I thought police officers were about that I've never really had any engagement with them, good
Yeah.
or bad, none. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
just, you're the other. And then after this experience, that's another thing that shaped me. I should have said that at the beginning when you asked what shaped me. Othering other people, othering segments of people, you're missing out. I'm not saying I want to go get to know some Ku Klux Klan member. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no. Don't do what Donald did. Don't do what Donald
I'm
did.
not trying to do that.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me, and I learned this from others older and wiser than me. You can still be curious about what their story is. If you want to talk about the client, what's their story? You don't just pop out of your mama's womb hating Jews and blacks and gays.
Well, sorry, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your story? What is the value that you are going for? It's probably tradition, history. I don't know. I'm not a Klan member. I don't know what goes through your head.
Yeah.
But if you can be a little curious and give a person, like what we did with the police officers, the opportunity to just show you who they are,
Yeah.
you're going to connect. You will connect if you're like-minded and you want well for each other.
Yeah.
You will connect. So that was a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
It's amazing because there are policies against obviously racism in the fire service, and it's the same in the police as well. The same kind of thing goes on, but you will get colleagues on the ground. Some will make certain comments. Some of you can see are kind of on a different right wing kind of mode, and well, I'm not saying I don't want to bring politics. It's nothing wrong with someone being a bit to the right and left, because you've got blacks on the right and left as well, all over the world. It's right and left views, but I'm talking about extreme right kind of type language. Well, say some. It doesn't necessarily start with language, but well, what I'm trying to say is that somehow you still got to go out and work as a team and actually do the objective of saving people, and things like that.
Yes.
You can imagine a black cop that had to work with these guys that killed George Floyd. Can you imagine that?
No, I cannot imagine. Yeah. And to go back to politics left and right, one of my favorite police chiefs was a big time Republican. Yeah. I love him. Love
Well,
him.
That's what I'm trying to say. Being a Republican
not a Republican.
No. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person, does it? It's just your political views.
Right.
I was actually talking about more extreme right wing kind of type language.
Yes.
In other words, if they're using a racist language, and it's kind of a language where they're saying you could see an immigration point of view of them is very much, I totally want to be like Hitler almost,
Yes.
But without saying that, that sort of thing.
But you said something about language, and you said it doesn't necessarily start with language. Maybe not, but language has a lot to do with how you will see a person or a group of people or segment of people. It does shape your ability to humanize or dehumanize people. So if you have police leadership like fire chiefs or police chiefs and so forth, and they could be as Republican, right, or left as you want, but if they don't tolerate certain things and they set the tone at the top and they set that tone, guaranteed the rest of the unit is going to understand what's acceptable and what's not acceptable.
Exactly.
And language has the power to dehumanize. My son just told me, he reminded me, he's like, you remember when you used to get mad when I used to say words like popo and all of that, and you said it was derogatory? And that was when I was in the midst of the initiative work. And so I didn't use cops, popo, definitely don't use words like pigs and this and that.
Yeah. Oh, you use pigs in America as well?
Yes, we do.
We inherited it from America, probably, but pigs was
probably
a very common word to use at the police, So.
Yes, none of that. And he was playing his video game, McCain, whatever video game. Like he was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And there was a scene. There's a part where you have the good guy, the bad guy, the cop, whatever, and the cop. It's all animated.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I didn't even want him playing that because I started to see he's taking his cue from me about how I feel about police, how I talk about police, how I regard police, the little derogatory things I don't even realize I'm saying. I just became much more aware of my language.
Yeah.
And I still don't say popo, not too much, really. Cops might say that. Police will call themselves popo, but it's kind of like a black person using the N-word. You know, some people can do it and other people can't do it.
Yeah, I know. And they kind of say, well, there's a difference because there's an A at the N-word with an A at the end. You know, that's the difference. You know, politically, when you went to Wall Street, you know, it's like, here's my N-word.
Right,
you know?
right.
But you know, you've got to look at it like that. If you know Black history, you know, not the rap song that says it's got an A at the end. It means it's my friend or someone who I want to shoot down or something like that. Another black on black violence thing, you know, whatever, you know. Anyway, let's not go down there. We could go. We've only got about 3 minutes left on this. So real quick, tell us what you're up to now then and how people can find out what you're doing and get to you.
Okay, well, now I'm consulting. So after 12 plus years in corporate, I left corporate earlier this year, did a little bit like a mini sabbatical, completely disconnect, which was very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. The cortisol withdrawal, somebody should have warned me about that.
We all have that. We all have that. It's managing it. It's managing it.
It was so weird to have peace and be uncomfortable with it. But now I'm back in the game. So I keep up with, you know, President Trump's executive orders, Supreme Court decisions.
I saw that actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On your bio. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I'm keeping up with all of that. And
I'm keeping up as well.
Nobody has time to read, you know, an 80-page Supreme Court decision. So I'm reading them and giving little updates about what you might need to know from a corporate standpoint, from a human being standpoint, and providing consulting services, some legal services. You know, I'm kind of like, I put up my own little sign on my garage door kind of thing, and like doing some work here, some big projects for big nonprofits, but also some smaller work. But I control my time.
Absolutely.
I own my time.
Yeah, and that's what I try and do as well. It can get busy with a 10-year-old, and then I've got the same problem as you with the games. But yeah, certainly. So how can people find you for this consultancy work before we leave?
Yes,
and what message could you send out to someone? Probably in the next minute, really. We've got.
Okay, so my website, I'm just looking at it. It's gcsupportservice.com.
Yeah.
And my email address is nadine.jones@gcsupportservice.com, not services, service.com. You can find me on LinkedIn under Nadine Jones. I'm in Jersey City.
Yeah.
And in terms of what I want to leave people with, all of what you're seeing, at least in the US, I can't speak for the UK, all of what you're seeing right now, it's going to be neighbors that bring us through this. And the concept of neighbors. And I want my neighbor to be well. I don't care how you vote. I don't care what flags you fly. But you know what? You need a cup of sugar and you ran out. I got you. That's going to be what brings us through this period to the other side. I firmly believe that.
Yeah. Well, this show is global, so there could be people listening in Africa, Asia. So they've got neighbours that could have differences as well. So they'll take something from that as well.
Good. I'm glad.
Well, Nadine, it's been a really fantastic conversation. I'd love to have you back, and I'm sure we'll be friends forever, spiritually or in reality. Maybe one day, you never know. But thanks a lot for coming on the show and sharing your experience and your story with us.
Thank you, Dave. What a pleasure. I had so much fun. Thank you.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepamah.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Pamah Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.